I founded this company with my brother in 1984, so it's been 31 years that we've been in business manufacturing communications equipment. We have about 140 employees worldwide. 100 of them are right here in Gaithersburg, Maryland. If the Ex-Im Bank is not reauthorized by Congress, then I'm going to be faced with a real dilemma. I'm going to have to shrink the size of my company. I would have to cut my company to about 30% of its present size. That means that I would be looking at not 100 employees here, I'd be looking at 30 or less if we can even survive the downturn. When we get business from a company, they want to have payment terms. They want to pay after 30 days or 60 days. And so we need a way to bridge that time between when we make the product and when we are paid. That worked great and our bank loved it. As long as we were operating in a domestic way, things were terrific. As our international business grew, our local banks started to get nervous. And they were like, wait a minute, we don't want to fund all these international transactions. If those customers don't pay, we have no way to collect. 70% of my revenue comes from outside the United States. That means 70% of my accounts receivable financing would not be available to me. The only response that I could have is to start laying off employees, trying to collect the money as fast as I can, and start to shrink my business, if not shut it down. It would be a disaster. The transactions that I'm doing are small. Our average order size is right around $10,000. And so for me to go out and get credit financing for $10,000 transactions doesn't really make a lot of sense. Ex-Im is the only tool that I have to finance my international receivables. We can't let this thing go away. Today I'm going around and meeting with my representatives in my district, senators and congressmen, and I'm talking to them about the specific value of the Ex-Im Bank for my company, telling my story, and trying to help them to see that there's a human side to the actions that are being taken. So my message to Congress is we've got to stop messing around with this. All of our competitors around the world have the backing of their governments in this kind of export transaction to provide export financing, to provide the security that is required to enable the growth internationally. It's a vital interest, and if we don't stand behind our businesses in a competitive way, then we're going to be giving up the opportunity for business to our competitors around the world. We'll be losing American jobs. We'll be putting companies out of business.